from anywhere 5:30 to 5:45. At 5:45, we get the papers, and anybody that signed up, you're welcome to speak on anything that's pertaining to the agenda.
None of us saw the sign-up sheet out there.
And there wasn't anybody out there, there was never any sign-up sheet involved in that, so we weren't really expecting them to have to sign up, because we've never had to do that before.
Well, it has to be pertaining to anything that's on the agenda for tonight.
Zoning,
the agenda?
zoning's on the agenda tonight, correct?
Not zoning in particular, no.
Zoning
just
Board of Appeals
The
is
Board
on
of
the agenda.
Appeals.
It applies to that.
If you want to speak to that, since you didn't see the sheet, I'll allow you 2 minutes to speak to that tonight.
Okay, I'm gonna speak.
So, well, yeah, I'll go first. So, this all leads into,
And what is your name? I'm
oh,
sorry.
I'm sorry, my name's Dan. Dan? Yeah, P-A-N-A. So trust us, it all goes in with the zoning stuff. So essentially, leading up to it, we're here to address this drawing again. This drawing that we were told, even stated in the plain talk in March, it's used for a grant process, it's not tied to any private development. But, and there's the article that says, not tied to any private development. Because as I've been told, if it's not in writing, it's just hearsay. So there you go. However, in this 39-page pitch, this is used for a private development to gain investment money. Why is it continuously used? And this drawing was made up from the state grant for the Cocke County Partnership. If this is property in Cocke County, why is it used for a private development? And it was told it was used for the bike trails. Well, the bike trails in here are also used as a private experience, and that's paid for by a federal grant. And, you know, we came in front of the board in April to talk about this development, and we're told it's not a development, that the CCP has been approached with no plans and have signed no contracts, but it seems to me that they got some pretty extensive plans with everything mapped out and experiences and investment opportunities. And I asked Lucas Graham after the meeting, I said, well then when is it a development in your eyes? And he told me when they asked for incentives and infrastructure. Well, in here, they're asking for incentives and infrastructure. And one of the main things in this incentives is a tax legislation, which includes zoning. They have to have things zoned to get this tax incentive. So everyone might deny that there's a development, but the developers don't think so, because they've also moved into town. We see them on a daily basis. And they're buying property, they're buying an extensive amount of property. We made a map to show of all the properties that they have, and this isn't even all of them, but a lot of the properties that they bought, and a lot of the riverfront, they're in gold. So, you know, everyone can deny it, but
Can I ask you a question, Skip?
yeah.
And I'm not disputing anything that you said, but the date on that, I saw what was posted online, and the date, that's from 2021, correct?
2021.
10 out of the 14 people, most of the CLB and all myself were in office when that happened.
Okay.
We don't have access, I mean, this is not anything that was happening under our law,
Okay.
so
But-
the best people to answer what you're specifically talking about might be the previous mayor and the previous members of the CLB, because none of this was passed along to me when I came in, and I'm sure it wasn't passed along to you.
Okay.
Hands on
Well,
fire.
whether it started in 2018, because this was done in 2018, these are from 2021, it's something that's continuing to happen now, and they are asking for the tax incentives in the sewer now, which is why you guys are in office currently.
They've not approached any of us about any of this.
Okay, okay. Well, it says that they are, and Lori's gonna talk about the laws and how those are brought up, so.
Thank you, Dan.
Two minutes, please.
Yes, sir. When I was here in both March and April about Velocity's $2 billion development, I was told that private developers can do what they want and that there was nothing we could do. I'm here today because I believe that the county is involved in this commercial development. Before you vote to add zoning resolution amendments, or vote in a zoning board of appeals, or make any more changes in this county, there are some questions you need to ask of those expecting you to vote status quo and hand the zoning board to the same people who devise zoning for this county. I would like to bring your attention to Tennessee Code Annotated 67-6-104, that is a commercial development law through the State Commissioner of Finance and Administration. This law is available specifically to 8 counties, including Cocke County, in the fiscal year that started July 1st of 2023, and would allow for taxes to be applied to a commercial development that is a partnership between the county and a commercial developer. One of those requirements is zoning. Velocity specifically mentions this Tennessee law, as well as specific investment partners that will invest once this law is applied. The Hartford Concept Design, created by the CCP through a state grant, is the only development design being used by Velocity. And based on public record search, there are now well over 1,000 acres owned in and around exits 440 and 447, including riverfront properties, rafting companies, and significant acreage of the Mill Creek Trailhead. It is absolutely impossible that the county officials are unaware of this law, and I find it doubly impossible that the county is not in a partnership with Velocity in order to take advantage of this commercial development project through the state. Mr. Ford, is your family prepared to be living in the middle of a commercial tourism development that the county planned without your knowledge and you helped to pass? What about the rest of you? Are you prepared to accept your role in creating this without the public's knowledge? The CLB has a responsibility to those who elected them to make informed choices in their seats of power. The CCP, Economic Board, and Planning Commission, and all county groups and individuals that are involved in creating this private county commercial development project should be held accountable in the public arena for the plans being made to develop this county, and there should be an immediate stop to this, because there is no regard for the people of this county or the mountains, rivers, and lands that we all call home. You should be asking these questions before you take any more votes on things that are being handed to you.
Chairman Norman Smith presiding, Mayor Rob Matt present.
Supervisor, you please swear.
Heavenly Father, thank you for this beautiful day. Thank you for this very special time of the year. Thanksgiving is indeed a special time that we all give thanks, and we give thanks to you, Father. We pray for each administration that's represented here tonight. We pray for the Cocke County people, and we pray that everything that we say and do will be pleasing to you. Thank you for this day. Thank you for loving us. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have a pretty lengthy agenda tonight, so we'll try to get started on it. First thing on the agenda tonight will be roll call.
Andy Ford,
Here.
Bill Miller,
Here.
Taylor Blazer,
Here.
Jason McMahon,
Here.
Norman Smith,
Here.
Tracy Steps,
Here.
John Fitzgerald,
Here.
Jeff Esslinger,
Here.
Dan Bright,
Here.
Wilma Ball,
Here.
Rick Vassar,
Yes.
David Barrow,
Here.
Tim Lehman, Billy Hudson.
Next thing on the agenda is approval of minutes. We have a motion to approve. Mr. Vassar, seconded by Ms. Blazer. Any questions? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That motion carried. Elections, appointments, and reports. Notaries: Donna Miniak, Valerie Jean Bean, Sydney Lee Kuykendall, Raiden Heath Rogers, and Forrest Clevenger. Do we have a motion to approve those? Mr. Esslinger and then Mr. Bryant, second. Any questions? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. In the matter of accepting the following quarterly reports, Circuit Court, Cocke County Board of Education, and County Clerk. Do we have a motion to approve? Mr. Baxter, do we have a second? Mr. Kent? Any questions? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That motion carried. In the matter of accepting the following annual reports from Circuit Court and County Clerk, copy was enclosed. We have a motion to approve. Mr. Esslinger and seconded by Mr. Vassar. Any questions? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That motion carried. In the matter of being committee report, budget.
Mr. Chairman, the Budget Committee recommends the approval of the attached transfers and amendments and waives the reading of the same for the county.
We have a motion to approve. Mr. Vassar, we have a second. Mr. McCain. Any questions? If not, roll call, please.
Andy Ford,
Yes.
Bill Miller,
Yes.
Dale Glazer. Yes. Jason McMahon,
Yes.
Norman Smith,
Yes.
Tracy Stack,
Yes.
Jonathan Templin,
Yes.
Jeff Esslinger,
Yes.
Dan Wright,
Yes.
Wilma Bob,
Yes.
Rick Vassar,
Yes.
David Fairdoff,
Yes.
Tim Lehman, Billy Hudson.
Mr. Chairman, the Budget Committee recommends the approval of the attached transfers and amendments and waives the reading of the same for the school system.
We have a motion to approve. Mr. McMahon, second. Mr. Vassar, any questions? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Andy Ford,
Yes.
Bill Miller,
Yes.
Caleb Blazer. Yes. Jason McMahon,
Yes.
Norman Smith,
Yes.
Tracy Stack,
Yes.
Jonathan Templin,
Yes.
Jeff Esslinger,
Yes.
Dan Wright,
Yes.
Wilma Bob,
Yes.
Rick Vassar,
Yes.
David Fairdoff,
Yes.
Tim Lehman, Billy Hudson.
That's all from Budget.
Sanitation,
No, sir.
okay. General, that, we're gonna wait on general and hold it for the new business because that was pertaining to that Board of Appeals, okay? Public safety,
We didn't have a meeting, but I do need to set up a meeting, so
okay,
I'll give it a
all right. Purchasing. The matter of report from county mayor.
Mr. Chairman, I'll, as soon as that falls in my office, the EMA coordinator will start before mine. He's got some equipment for the fire.
Okay.
Evening, Your Honor. Evening, Mr. Chairman, how are you? So currently there are two fires burning on our borders. One has been named the Tweed Fire. That's the fire that started 11 days ago that's on U.S. Forest Service land that's hovering in between Cocke and Greene County. That fire, as of this morning, was 80% contained and well outside the Cocke County border. The Black Bear fire started, on 16 November, about 8:30 in the morning, a tractor-trailer incident at the 3.5 mile marker in North Carolina sparked the fire, which traveled up the hillside. U.S. Forestry responded to that, along with Haywood County Emergency Services, and Chief Cross and Grassy Fork responded as automatic aid. Grassy Fork was turned away from that event because it was U.S. Forest Service land, so they went back in service. That fire has grown substantially over the next several days, over the past several days. Since I want to say either Saturday morning or Sunday morning, Director Hansel, myself, Chief Cross, Chief Sutherland, Jeremy Shelton from City Fire, we've been attending briefings, sometimes together, sometimes we've been taking turns from the U.S. Forest Service to determine what this fire might do and what the behavior's looking like. Right now, we're somewhere north of 1,200 acres. Very little containment, but the hand line around the southeastern edge, which is what we were most concerned about, was finished this afternoon. I've generated a letter of instruction for this mission. Now, what normally takes me 3 days to do, I've done in 4 hours, so that's why you don't have a copy just yet. It's a 75% solution. The mayor, the chairman, and the chair of the public safety committee all have a copy. When we're done here, I'll go back to my office and I'll plug in the minute details that are most important to the emergency response force, but won't mean much to anyone else. But this is what we're looking at. The potential of 2 issues starting later this evening, going into the midnight hour and running into tomorrow. One would be high winds. We're expecting sustained winds anywhere between 25 and 40 miles per hour, with the potential of 75 to 90 mile per hour winds in the higher elevations, to include Gatlinburg and some of our higher peaks. Depending on where the fire is, when these winds arrive, will have a lot to do with the spread of the fire or what the fire is actually going to do. Behind the winds, we're expecting some rain. It depends on how much rain falls, how fast, how soon, how much. We haven't had measurable rain in several weeks, so the ground is dry and it's cracking and it's hard. If we get a lot of rain all at once, it's going to hit that ground like concrete and it's going to run off. It's going to create flash flooding in portions of the county, pretty much almost everywhere in the county. I'm looking at roadways and things like that. Our lake, our rivers, our streams, our creeks, they can accept a good amount of water right now, and as long as we've done a good job of keeping those tiles clean, we should be able to keep water flowing pretty well. But if it's a slow, steady rain, the ground will absorb it, and we won't have so much runoff, we won't have so much risk of flash flooding. So we've got two threats. We've got fire and we've got flood. Our threats over the next 24 to 48 hours. So we've been planning for the last several days. That went into high gear today. We've taken all of our appropriate measures in accordance with the county's basic emergency operating plan and what U.S. Forest Service has given us, along with our combined knowledge. We're going to operate on a unified command system. The EMA director, the county sheriff, the county fire chief, and Chief Cross from Grassy Fork will be working together to make decisions and keep the county mayor informed. If the U.S. Forest Service tells us that they think an evacuation is pending, then I will release the evacuation protocol. Chief Cross and Chief Sutherland have been working out in Grassy Fork the last several days, identifying the structures that we believe would be in the path of a fire in the exact wrong condition. We've identified 21 parcels or residents out there. The property assessor's office has provided us with maps. We know exactly where these places are. There's different mechanisms of notification we'll use. One will be social media. 2 will be our local radio stations. 3 will be our regional television outlets. 4 will be hyperreach, and 5 will be sheriff's deputies going out, going door to door, making sure anybody that wants to leave will leave. The mayor is the only person that can sign an evacuation order. That order's been prepared based off the language that we have. It's just waiting for his signature. If the unified command structure advises him, that's the way we're going to go. Once that evacuation order is signed, Sheriff Ball will task Captain Oates and the school resource officers who don't have school tomorrow with taking charge of the ground deployment of that evacuation. We're encouraging folks to stay with family and friends should they be displaced, but in the event that's not an option, Newport Grammar School will serve as the evacuation shelter. The evacuation route is outlined on the map, and that will be published if it looks like we're going to go that way as well. So our goal is a safe, speedy, and efficient evacuation, but there are 3 phases. There's a phase 1, 2, and 3. If the U.S. Forest Service calls Chief Sutherland, Chief Cross, or myself and says, it's looking like you might want to start notifying your folks the fire's getting out of hand because of the winds and the rain just didn't do enough for us, that's the nightmare scenario, and we won't know that till 2, 3 o'clock tomorrow morning. then we'll start phase one, which is notification. Everybody needs to start gathering up their things, packing up the car, and get ready to go. Phase two is voluntary. We're asking you to leave now to limit the strain and the stress on the roads and emergency services. Phase three is get out now. Your time has passed. We cannot take people out of their homes in handcuffs. That's important to know. If they want to stay with their homes, they have free will to do that. Deputies will go door to door on those 21 residents and make sure all the people and all the fur babies are out. As far as flood goes, both Cocke County and Newport Swiftwater Rescue teams are in an elevated state of alert. Right now, the county is in threat condition 4 out of 5, 5 being the best, business as usual, 1 being catastrophic. Right now, we're in threat condition 4. It was my intention to move us to threat condition 3, but Chief Sutherland and Chief Cross and the sheriff and I just got a message from U.S. Forest Service that says that we had a good day today. The winds have not been a factor, but we don't know what those peak winds are going to do tonight. I expect I'll be taking the county to threat condition 3 probably within the next 2 to 3 hours. If I take the county to threat condition 3, then each volunteer fire department will send a delegate to the Emergency Operations Center to take the burden off Director Hansel. Nancy will be spending the night at 911 tonight with her dispatchers in case things get crazy over there. I felt like I was in a Goodfellas movie this morning. She told me she was going to the mattress tonight. She brought in a blow-up mattress and she's going to sleep on the floor at the post tonight. So if they become inundated with phone calls, then those calls will roll over to the Emergency Operations Center, where a delegate from each of the 6 volunteer fire departments will take that call. They'll dispatch resources and they'll keep a record of it until things calm down, and then we'll transfer things back to Nancy. Other than that, the EOC is going to be well staffed. I've got a team of 5 volunteers who will be working with our operations officer to keep things moving slowly. Our incident command post will be the Emergency Operations Center. That's where the mayor will set up shop and run the county. Our on-site or our field incident command post will be the Grassy Fork Community Center. That's being prepped right now. Both will have identical maps, and everybody on foot or in a vehicle will have a smaller version of the map as well, along with all the attachments. Chief, did I miss anything? Chief Cross, did I miss anything?
The only thing my concern is with these winds, we could have trees down, electric lines down, and that, so we're not only looking at fire over at Blackberry, but also we could have power lines down, and which could set fire to the leaves. So that's 2 threats we have, and that's anywhere in the county.
Good point. That's in the letter of instruction. You don't have a copy of this yet because it's not quite done, but you know, in the Marine Corps, we used to say no plane survives first contact. As soon as that first round is fired, that plane goes to heck, and we just react from there. So I'm looking for a 90% solution on the plan with the expectation it's going to go to heck probably about 4 o'clock tomorrow morning if things don't go our way. But Chief Cross is absolutely right. Newport Utilities have been contacted today. There are people on an elevated state of readiness, as is Jeff Cocke Utilities. Jeff Cocke Utilities will not be filling any tanks of any kind until the threat of fire is over. The thought being that, you know, a half a tank is better than a full tank. So they're not going to be filling any tanks for the next couple of days until this is over. But there's a place for them at the operations center if we go live sometime in the wee hours of the morning. And again, like the chief said, high winds, you know, the root system is weak. There hasn't been any water. The fire has burned off a lot of that foliage and a lot of that, the ground cover that keeps that root system moist and intact. So we can expect some possible rock or earth slides along the interstate. We can expect the same thing within the county on some of our hills, down trees, power lines, sparking. I expect the fire department's going to be busy tonight. Brian and I will likely be setting up shop at the Emergency Operations Center tonight as well. So I'd like to answer any questions you might have that I can't answer right now. Excuse me, Nancy, did you have anything for the group?
Nothing.
Thanks, sir.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Mayor?
Have a few items to bring before the body tonight. Number one is in the approval and appointment approval of a building commissioner for the county. The person that I bring to you tonight is Ashley Shelton. She is already an employee within the mayor's office, and this would be an additional duty for her as the responsibilities do not require a full-time person. So we actually have excess budget room to pay her out of our existing budget due to a part-time position that is not filled. So we'll pay her out of that, and that fee would be, or that additional pay would be $1,000 per month. And again, that is within our budget. So I'll present that for your approval before moving on to the next items, I would think, Mr. Chairman.
So let's put the building commissioner appointed and the compensation in one. It has to be two? All right, first of all then, do we have a motion to approve his appointment? Mr. Essler was seconded by Mr. Viradal. Any questions?
Yeah, what are the duties of the building commissioner? What will she be doing?
Seeing as how the requirements for the zoning are so light, what she's going to be doing is we've set up a system called the NUV, where anybody that's going to have a new build requiring power, they'll come to her and get essentially a checklist to say, okay, it's in the correct zone, it's in the correct, you've got your standoffs, you can make them aware of the standoffs, and that the lot size is the appropriate lot size. Just simply that kind of thing. If it's a large commercial development, of course, there's a few more things, but she's going to be the one doing those on-the-ground inspections, mostly just for the commercial stuff. And she is going to require 8 hours of training, which the state will provide. Does that answer your questions?
Thank you.
Any other questions? Yes, sir.
I'd like for us to put all this zoning on hold. This don't sound right here about this. But this report they gave me tonight, it's starting to stink a little worse. This is no coincidence that this came out like it has. What I would like to put in the form of a motion.
We can't have a motion right now because we already have.
I'll make it later then.
We have one on the floor. Any other questions? If not, let's do a roll call.
Andy Ford,
Yes.
Bill Miller,
Yes.
Gavin Blazer. Yes. Jason McMahon,
Yes.
Norman Smith,
Yes.
Tracy Stepp,
Yes.
Jonathan Templin,
Yes.
Jeff Esslinger,
Yes.
Dan Brock,
No.
Willen Bob,
Yes.
Rick Baxter,
Yes.
Dave Viradal,
Yes.
Tim Lehman, Billy Hudson.
All right, that motion carried. Then the compensation that Mr. Mayor described, we have a motion to approve that. Mr. Essler, we have a second. Mr. Campbell, any questions? Roll call, please.
Andy Ford,
Yes.
Bill Miller,
Yes.
Gavin Blazer. Yes. Jason McMahon,
Yes.
Norman Smith,
Yes.
Tracy Stepp,
Yes.
Jonathan Templin,
Yes.
Jeff Esslinger,
Yes.
Dan Brock,
No.
Wilma Bob,
Yes.
Rick Baxter,
Yes.
David Viradal,
Yes.
Tim Lehman, Billy Hudson.
Next on the agenda is we have been asked to read this proclamation in recognition of Family Court Awareness Month, November 2023. Whereas the mission of Family Court Awareness Month is to increase awareness of the importance of a family court system that prioritizes child safety and acts in the best interest of children, and whereas the mission of the FCAM is fueled by the desire to create awareness and change in the family court system for the conservatively estimated 58,000 children a year ordered into unsupervised contact with physically or sexually abusive parents, while honoring the hundreds of children who have been reported as murdered during visitation with a dangerous parent, and whereas the mission of FCAM is to increase awareness of the importance of empirically based education and training of domestic violence, childhood trauma, child sexual abuse, coercive control, post-separation abuse, use for all professionals working in the cases with the family, the court system, and whereas the mission of FCAM is to increase awareness of the importance of using scientifically valid, evidence-based treatment programs and services that are proven in terms of safety, effectiveness, and therapeutic value, and whereas the mission of FCAM is to educate judges and other family court professionals on evidence-based, peer-reviewed research. Such research is a critical component to making decisions that are truly in the best interest of children. This research includes CDC study, the Adverse Childhood Experiences Study, National Institute of Justice funded SAFE study, child custody evaluators released about domestic abuse allegations, and the GW Law School Institute of Justice funded study, child custody outcomes in cases involving parental alienation and abuse allegations. Now, therefore, I, Rob Mathis, Mayor of Cocke County, Tennessee, hereby declare every month of November to be Family Court Awareness Month. I encourage all residents to support their local community's effort to prevent the harm of children in the hands of family members and to honor the value of the lives of children. We certainly appreciate the work that they do. Lastly, you'll have in your packet a contract. And what this contract is you probably you purchased the ball property recently to expand the landfill. Well, part of that expansion, we had mentioned the possibility of selling the minerals on there as they have to be extracted anyway. So instead of paying somebody to take those out, somebody's willing to pay us to take them out. And so that's what this contract is for, is to do that. And the end result, and it's in the contract, is to take that land that we purchased and we expand it, and they'll pull the minerals out and leave us a landfill when they're complete. So we'll essentially have a free landfill plus several $1 million going into the county coffers. One correction on this, if you look at page 7, the minimum stipulated that the county would receive per ton is listed in the contract that you have of 55 cents. That has been negotiated to $1 per ton. So Mr. McQueen is here tonight, the owner of the company that would be doing the entering this contract with us. He and I thought it would be best, in case you have any questions, he would be the right person to answer those. So what I would ask Mr. Chairman is on the approval with the change to $1 per ton instead of 55 cents per ton for the minimum tonnage paid to the county. With that, Mr. Chairman, that concludes my statements, and I thank you for your time.
So we need to approve the lease tonight. So with the change on page 7 from 55 cents to $1 per ton, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. And Mr. McQueen, this is Matt McQueen, he is the owner of the company, he's here if you have questions.
Anybody have any questions? First of all, we have a motion to approve. Ms. Blake, second, Mr. Stell. All right, now, any questions?
The 6th District has a question for the mayor. Mr. Mayor, do you recommend the Cocke County Mayor's Administration recommend this lease?
I do, Commissioner. This is anticipated to bring conservatively between $4 and $6 million into the county over the next 5 or 6 years, thereabouts. Thereabouts. Yes, sir. I highly recommend it.
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions? Not roll call, please.
Andy Ford,
Yes.
Bill Miller,
Yes.
Caleb Blazer. Yes. Jason McMahon,
Yes.
Norman Smith.
Yes.
Tracy Stepp,
Yes.
Jonathan Templin,
Yes.
Jeff Esslinger,
Yes.
Dan Bright,
Yes.
Wilma Ball,
Yes.
Rick Bassler,
Yes.
David Barrow,
Yes.
Tim Laney, Billy Hudson. 12 and 2.
All right, in the matter of report from county attorney.
Good evening. I have 2 lease renewals for you, the first of which is fire tower. It's just a lease for the fire tower in the fairgrounds. This has been going on for a long time, we're just renewing the lease.
Do we have a motion to approve? Mr. Bass, we have a second. Mr. Miller? Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay,
Very
all right, I want to be
Very
sure.
long, I'm sorry. Too many B's.
Yes, that needs to be.
Um,
Okay.
So, we'll probably need to do a roll call on that too. Any questions? Not roll call, please.
Andy Ford,
Yes.
Bill Miller,
Yes.
Caleb Blazer. Yes. Jason McMahon,
Yes.
Norman Smith.
Yes.
Tracy Stepp,
Yes.
Jonathan Templin,
Yes.
Jeff Esslinger,
Yes.
Dan Bright,
Yes.
Wilma Ball,
Yes.
Rick
Yes.
David Fairwell,
Yes.
Tim Lyman, Billy Hudson. Vote to accept.
The second lease is for the lease of the convenience center property in Harrisville. The only change is a slight change in the boundary, and it just makes it a little bit larger. Everything else is the exact same as we've had.
Have a motion to approve. Mr. Step, second by Ms. Clark. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Andy Ford,
Yes.
Bill Miller,
Yes.
Ella Blazer,
Yes.
Jason McMahon,
Yes.
Norman Smith,
Yes.
Tracy Stepp,
Yes.
Jonathan Timpson,
Yes.
Jeff Esslinger,
Yes.
Dan Bright,
Yes.
Wilma Ball,
Yes.
Rick Baster,
Yes.
David Fairwell,
Yes.
Tim Lyman, Billy Hudson. Vote to adjourn.
Thank you. Anything else? All right, matter report from county commissioners, Kenny.
The 6th District has something, sir. The 6th District would like to take this time to wish all the citizens of Cocke County and all the residents of Cocke County a happy Thanksgiving. Also, the 6th District would like to notice the emergency management system for their hard work for the Cocke County people and for the Cocke County people's safety. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Anybody else? Matter of report from Cocke County Partnership.
I'll entertain any questions anyone's got. Also, I'll give you a few updates. One, regarding the $1 million ARC grant we got for the sewer line expansion for Cocke. There will be drilling on November 27th. We'll see some trucks going in there around Little Springs exit for those of you that are down there. That's moving along. There's also continued survey work and drilling efforts, I guess, along on the whole route for the full design. Again, I'll reiterate from last month, they're expecting 30% design plans to be done in January. First week of January, and then move into the 90% realm. So maybe May 24, we'll be ready to go to pre-bid on that. So I'll continue to keep you informed as we move forward during that process. For those of you who have not seen, there are 2 sites now fully completed in the innovation park that they're done. We do have, depending on their schedules over Thanksgiving holidays and wherever, we have immediate income to take pictures of those sites. We make those, another set of drawings posted on TVA sites and the industrial development sites that we advertise on. We posted 2 folks that have been in looking at the sites. First one, Mayor and Commissioners and I went to Virginia to meet with. They have since reached back out. They've got additional interest in that site. They want to continue on supporting that. They're waiting on some financing plans to be approved, so they're ready to proceed. Maybe by first quarter of 24, we'll know their answer. Second is looking at the warehousing opportunity for a fitness, corporate fitness outfit, about 75 to 100,000 square feet. And then as of this afternoon, we have another prospect that is looking at a larger manufacturing operator in town. It will not be fit in the innovation park, but they are a prospect located in our region. Located industrial prospect. Don't have a lot of details on that. Fresh off the press. Assuming we can provide them power, then I think we got a pretty good shot. Additionally, I'll update, or I'll try to address some of the earlier comments there. Again, the IBI and the grant conceptual documents that were done in 2018 are just that. They were not tied to anything specific. Those were done in a room with 5 architects, along with myself and 4 or 5 commissioners and several people that were part of the design for the TREX system themselves. They were not specific to a process. So yes, they are demonstrated in the documents. That document that she's referring to is an investment deck that the developers put together 3 years ago, probably. That was intended to gain interest from investors, from not specific drawings or tied to the development. For those of you that are new to this, we don't have a project until one, it is presented to us in a concept or in a drawing that can go to the county planning commission for approval or consideration. Two, a request for incentives to the IDB in an official capacity. And three is requesting for utilities to be extended to that site. That requires engineering, design, and multiple take place. That has not been done. There has been large acreages of tracts of land purchased, but that's no different than it was a few months ago. That's private owners selling to a private owner. That's not heard yet. But once it is, then they won't be made aware. We're on the same thing. There's no stack of drawings in my office. I wish there was. They're not at that point yet. We can't force them to move any faster or to go forward before they're ready to do so. But we'll know, as soon as we know in the public. What's going on. Does anyone have any questions for me or about that?
Thank you. In the matter of report from Priority Ambulance Service, that copy is enclosed. Matter of report from Keep Cocke County Beautiful, that copy is enclosed. Matter of report from Cocke County Corrections Partnership, there's been no movement on that. New business, A, in the matter of appointing the Board of Zoning Appeals. It's my understanding the General Committee met, and they recommended unanimously that all 7 members of the current Regional Planning Commission and 2 members of the CLB, Mr. McMahon and Mr. Esslinger, serve on this Board of Appeals, and their terms to run concurrent with their current board terms. Mr. Miller, you put that in form of a motion from the General Committee
I make a motion
to do that.
to vote the 7 we got, and add Mr. McMahon and Mr. Esley.
Okay, do we have a second? Mr. Bass. I'm sorry, Mr. Burdock. Any questions?
I have.
Yes.
I just want to say, I think this is unwise to make what am I trying to say, the planning commission, that many, the whole board, the whole planning commission, be able to have that much say in this, in the Board of Appeals, and only 2 commissioners. I think it should be flipped, in my opinion, where it leans more heavily towards who's accountable to the voters.
Well, I met with the representative of the state, and there's a reason they don't do that. At every election, you could lose most of your board. And there's 4 hours of required in-service that they have to take every year. And that's why all the other counties use that planning commission board. Yes.
I'm just gonna go off of that. I agree with Andy about that because, I mean, there's just too much power in one place. Could we, I mean, that's great with the CLB, that's fine, 2 members, but I'm thinking that the public, somebody in the public should be on the board. At least 2 people or 3 people from the public that knows, you see what I'm saying? That's just not specifically on the board, that's out of the general public, and it doesn't look so awesome. When you go to appeal something at a board, and you're gonna appeal it to the people that wrote it,
Well, you need to understand.
I mean,
You need to understand also, now this is, you need to understand that the only people that can change something is this board. CLB has that sole purpose. They are the only ones that can change zoning on property. We have to approve. So it's not that. It's not that. And we've already waited 2 months. All these other counties use this board. All these other counties use this board. And there's a reason they do that.
I mean, I understand what you're saying, but I still feel like some general public person needs to be on that board also. I mean, I just do. Because, I mean, yes, those appeals, they could say no and it would never come to the CLB, and the CLB might actually agree with those people. That's what I'm saying. But if you have all of the board of zoning on there, do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's too much power. for one
I mean, they
board.
could
I mean,
say, well, no, we're not sending it to the CLB, and it stops here for us to vote on it. Is that not right?
The zoning board of appeals doesn't have any power, all they can do is serve it to us. And if you were gonna pick a private citizen to sit on that board, then, how would you pick and what process would you go through
It'd
to
take
vet
forever.
that person?
And we've already got instances where there's already people that, this board needs to be in place now. Now, if we don't like it, wait,
I mean, yes, I agree with you, the board does need to be in place. But I'm just saying, you know,
It doesn't need to be the whole planning commission. I mean, it's, so they came up with this proposal, they enforced the rule, this thing, and now they're gonna enforce the zoning board of appeals. You say they have no power, it's gotta go back to the CLB, well, why have them there to begin with?
but they can stop it from coming back to the CLB. is what I'm saying.
Right.
My thing is that board can say, yes, we're gonna send it to the CLB to vote on, or no, we're not. And if they say no, like the CLB, if they heard that appeal, might actually agree with those people.
okay. Any other questions?
Too much power.
Any other questions?
Too much power to put this planning commission.
Roll call.
Andy Ford,
No,
Bill Miller,
Yes.
Gayla Blazer,
Nope.
Jason McMahon,
no,
Norman Smith,
Yes.
Tracy Stepp,
Yes.
Jonathan Tinkland,
Yes.
Jeff Esslinger,
Yes.
Dan Bright,
No.
Wilma Ball,
No.
Rick Baxter,
Yes.
David Beardall,
Yes.
Tim Lehman, Billy Dixon.
Motion failed.
Thank you.
So, I'm open for suggestions, because we need to get this board in place.
Table that to the next meeting.
We need this board in place. Now, the zoning's here, it's not going away. And we need this board in place.
The sixth district says that this board should have been in place when we voted the zoning. That's what the sixth district says.
what is the amount of people that can serve on the board?
You can have up to 15.
So what's the split, I mean, is it 50-50 besides the zoning or the appeals? So would it,
You can only have up to 9, I'm sorry, I was wrong, up to 9.
so we got 9 on there. So if, what passes and what doesn't, how many votes, is it 50% or 2/3 or?
I'm gonna assume it's a majority.
Okay. Well, we know how that's gonna go every time. If it's 7 of them, it's just 2 commissioners.
Go ahead.
The zoning appeals, I think, it appears that you guys think that they hear more than they do. So the only thing that they will hear is a variance. So if Ms. Shelton denies something, says you can't do this, it's not in the right zone, that is what is appealed to the Board of Zoning Appeals. They hear nothing else. So it is simply variance. They will not, they do not change zoning. They cannot.
Right.
They can't send it to you, they can't do anything.
But if it's appeal that needs to happen, I mean, if it needs to happen, you know, and we agree with it, and the planning commission doesn't, and that's what I'm talking about is.
So if you guys want the variance to occur and the board doesn't,
Right. Right.
well, if you have two CLB members on there, they can bring that to the board themselves, and then you guys could decide to change the zoning. So let's say you turn down that, so the Board of Zoning Appeals turns down that variance, those two CLB members, if they want to see that variance occur, they can bring it to the CLB, and you are the ones that decide that you want to change the zoning. You would take that zoning, you would send it through the process again. So it'd go to the planning commission, they can say yay or nay, but then it comes right back to you. So even if the planning commission says, no, we don't want to change it, it comes back to you. So those two CLB members would be able to bring it in and be able to make that change themselves.
It all comes back to us, why we got them on there anyway.
Thank you. Not only
Because
that.
it shouldn't be a political board according to the state.
Oh, it's not political, it's the planning commission?
Yeah.
The planning
Yeah, right.
commission is appointed by you as well. So it's not. It's just like all the other boards that you all want.
So what you're saying is if Jason wants to bring it to us, he just needs him to do that.
He could just come in and under commissioner's comments, he could simply say, hey, we saw a variance at the Board of Appeals. They said no, I think we should look at it. You guys can all look at it, and you can put it in and say, okay, you know what, we should do this, let's rezone that parcel. And then you guys send that to the planning commission. The planning commission say, yeah. The reason it goes back to the planning commission is the planning commission has the history in this. They know what's going on, they get training. But you can always override them for rezoning.
And that's every time.
Every time, if he thinks that it should be, the variance should have been gone.
What about the opposite way around?
I'm speaking. When the variance has been denied and you wanted to bring it in, you are welcome to do that.
Could any commissioner do that? Say, for instance, somebody called another commissioner on the board. Could any commissioner bring that in that has went through that, and maybe it passed or whatever, and they didn't want to do it, so.
Your comments or your portion, that's completely up to you. So if you see something that needs to be rezoned, you can always do that. You guys can make changes to zoning no matter when you want to. It doesn't have to be from variance. But I will say that in the surrounding counties, the Board of Zoning Appeals meets less than 6 times a year. Because there aren't variances. People aren't coming in to get variances. Because the majority of people, obviously, in the county are residential or agricultural. We're not telling them what they can do on their land. They don't need a rezone. So there is no variance.
So there's a check and balance in place.
Yes.
Tell that to all the people that got evicted out of tiny home place.
So what's the board's pleasure?
The 6th district recommends that we vote on this again.
With the same?
Tonight, yes, sir.
All right, do we have a second? Mr. Miller? All right. Roll call, please.
Andy Ford,
No.
Bill Miller,
Yes.
Caleb Blazer,
Yes.
Jason McMahon,
Yes.
Norman Smith,
Yes.
Tracy Stepp,
Yes.
Jonathan Templin,
Yes.
Jeff Esslinger,
Yes.
Dan Bright,
No.
Will Ball,
No.
Rick Vassar,
Yes.
David Barrell,
Yes.
Tim Langman, Billy Hudson.
Motion carried. In the matter of setting the following speed limits, 2nd District, Shelton Chapel Road, 30 miles per hour. You just want to do these one at a time? Or you want to do them all at once? All right, and then the 5th District, Apricot Road, 15 miles per hour, and Tree Road, 15 miles per hour. We have a motion to approve. Mr. Blazer, we have a second. Mr. Vassar. It was actually Mr. Vassar. Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That motion carries. In a matter of approving the purchase and sale agreement for county property from the 2013 tax sale.
This is a tax sale. Mr. Green had to go out of the state, actually, for his daughter at the last minute, so he's going to put this back on the agenda when he gets back.
So we'll move on.
Yeah.
All right. In the matter of accepting the reading of the minutes, the following county officials, the office policy amendments: county clerk, general sessions court, clerks and masters, juvenile court, juvenile services, and the copy was enclosed. We have a motion to accept those. Ms. Blazer, second by Mr. Vassar. Any questions? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? That motion carried. Anything under miscellaneous? Do I have a motion to adjourn? All those in favor say aye. Aye.